envelope printing is thriving at Implants thanks to a variety of digital envelope presses that have come on the market. Implants that have never printed envelopes in the past are now bringing in substantial amounts of envelope business and saving their organizations tons of money. According to our research, 40% of Implants have a digital envelope press, and 14% plan to add one over the next 2 years. One Implant that's had great success with envelope printing is Elon University Print Services in Elon, North Carolina. With us here today to tell us more is manager Wes Grigg. Welcome, Wesley.
How you doing?
Doing great. So now, you originally brought envelope printing in-house back in 2012, I think. What were your reasons for doing that at the time?
In 2012, I had only been here for about 2 years, and looking at all the envelope business that I was seeing coming in from off-campus printers, I got the itch to want to do them in-house, just to get our numbers up. So the first thing I did was head over to purchasing. All of the purchase orders were going through there, and I already had a really good friendship and relationship with the director there, and he just let me go through the files, and I made copies.
You compiled all that data of how many envelopes were being printed on the outside?
Yes, and it was a staggering number. I don't remember the exact number now. It's been so long, but it was a very large number.
I know your first envelope press served you pretty well for 7 years, I think, but earlier this year it went down for good. What did you get as a replacement, and why did you pick it?
So we went out and we looked at the OKI. The C931 DP is the one we purchased. I went to a vendor here locally that had one in the showroom and tested it there, took our files there and tested it right off the bat. Loved the color just as it came off the machine with no changes to the settings. And I liked the way the paper fed through. I liked the way the paper fed itself. It was a lot actually better feeding system than what we were used to.
It's got a straight paper path, right?
It is a straight paper path.
I believe that's a bottom feed unit, and I think your previous one was a top feed?
Correct. The current one we have now is a bottom feed unit, so you can load on the fly.
How did you justify the new printer and get approval?
Like everyone else, I had to go and get numbers. I pulled a whole year's data list of numbers from our digital storefront, and I took those numbers and actually priced out with local printers. I kind of covertly contacted some local printers in town. All the local printers know me. They know I work here, so I had to do it kind of covertly. I actually went to a couple departments here and had some program assistants pretend they were calling these printers and trying to order a set of envelopes. After getting quotes, for 1,000 here and 2,000 there, and then some big orders here and there, I ran all those numbers together, and that number was enough to justify what we spent easily.
Now, how many envelopes on average do you print in-house each year?
We average right now, the past 5 years, we've averaged 300,000 to 400,000. I just pulled a report this morning because I figured you would like to know this. Right now, we're 4 months into our fiscal year, and we're already at 98,000. So we're right on par for that 300 plus thousand year. And actually, it'll probably go up this year because there's a new campaign that just launched, and we've already mailed a massive amount of mailings for them.
Now, are you overall happy with the color reproduction on the OKI?
Like I said earlier, absolutely. We didn't have to adjust anything. Right off the box, it matches our colors. Now, we have Pantone 188 here, and that's a dark, deep maroon, and it matched it right out of the box. I haven't had to adjust anything.
It's got some great resolutions on that device. I believe around 1200 by 1200 DPI.
Yeah, absolutely. We printed an envelope for this new campaign that I mentioned earlier that actually had an image of one of the brand new buildings on campus, and the department we were doing it for wanted to see proofs, and we printed the first proof off, and they came back with the approval immediately.
Can it print on a range of media types?
The only things I've tested on it so far, or printed on it, would be, other than paper, would be the polyester, the synthetic stocks. And I actually ran some 14 mil polyester on it, and it printed fine.
So what kind of ROI do you expect on the OKI envelope press?
We're looking at about 12 months. Initially, when I wrote the proposal, I did it for 24 months. But right now, if everything holds the way it's looking right now, we're going to have our return in about 12 months.
Now, a lot of implants are still buying all their envelopes outside. Given your experience, what advice would you give them?
The best thing to do, and what I've done here, is just as you go out and you're on campus, keep your eyes open. Every time I see an envelope or something lying on someone's desk, I ask about it. I ask, where did you get these? Especially if I know that it's not something that we did already. One example of that would be our accounting office. I happened to go in there one day just to deliver another order that we were delivering, and she had a whole box of the security envelopes sitting there, and I knew we didn't print those. So I went down the hallway and found her and pulled her aside, and I said, "Where have you been buying these?" And for the past 15 years, she had been buying them from a local printer.
Wes, I want to thank you for sharing your story, and I wish you continued success with your new OKI envelope press.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob.